So today I'm going to be presenting something called SidePC, and it is an AI prompt launcher. And this is this is not really a company. This is an idea, and it's something that I kind of threw together pretty fast. So I'm interested to get your feedback. All right. So again, my name is Matthew. This is who I am slide, and I'm not going to cover all of this. I'm really going to just talk about this piece for a second. So I'm actually a business professor at these two schools, and because of that, I create a ton of content, like a lot of content, and I actually use AI to create most of my content. Now that's everything from like lesson plans to assignments to handouts. I code a ton with it. Mainly I'm teaching in the business school, but I teach coding classes in the business school. So I am in AI a ton because of that. And I've kind of come to two truths as I've been teaching. And I've actually got three things up here. And this is, I'm not going to have anybody raise their hands or anything like that. So these are maybe rhetorical questions. But out of this, I've come up with two truths. So the three things I've got up here is one, chat is the ideal AI interface. Two, AI inputs mathematically shape the outputs. And three, prompt engineering works. And so you may not know those terms, but maybe you do. So maybe just think about what you think is true here and what you think is false. And if you're anything like me, that's the false statement. Chat is not the ideal AI interface. It doesn't mean it's not a good AI interface. If you think about computers historically, they started with command prompt. And command prompt's still around today. People still use it. So it hasn't gone away. It doesn't mean it's not good or relevant, but it is not the way most of us engage with these systems. And I think the same thing is true for AI systems. Now, these other two things are really an understanding of how these systems work. Okay? AI is mathematics. It's how it works. And what that means is inputs do shape outputs. And if you don't think they do, I implore you to test these things because they do. It really works. And what that means is if this works, so does this. And what prompt engineering means is you can massage these things to improve your output. It is possible. It is feasible. This is not fake, at least if you agree with me. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, what I found is I had repeated AI workflows that I started running a lot, and what I was doing is I was copying and pasting from a Google Doc. I had a Google Doc, and I'd say, I want to do this one. I want to create this type of document, copy, paste. And I was going back and forth, and I realized that is a terrible experience, and I was kind of like, this is really dumb. Why don't I just create something to solve that? So that's what I did. And I came up with SidePC. I have no idea why I called it SidePC. SidePC it's an AI prompt launcher. That's like all it is. I'll show you what it does, and it's basically one-click access to your most used AI workflows. It's lightweight, super lightweight. It's a Chrome extension. It's cross-platform. I think that may be the most important thing, and what I mean by that is it works for Claude, it works for OpenAI, it works for Gemini. That's what I mean by cross-platform. Okay, so it works cross-platform across AI services. And lastly, it's customizable, so the user can kind of make it their own. Right? So I'm gonna do a live demo, which is maybe the worst idea that I've ever had, but I think it's gonna work. And I pulled up Gemini here, and this is what it looks like. So it's just a toolbar, and if I want to add something, I can click this. And what it pulls up is a really simple interface to add a prompt. So I can add a prompt name. I have my content here. I'm not going to get too much into that. I'll show you actually how it works. But I can add icons, so I can kind of create an icon. I can save the prompt, but I can also create folders. So this here is demo one. This is a folder, and then I've got different prompts in that folder. All right, so very simple. That's really it. And I want to show you how it works here. So I've got Gemini open here, and I'm going to actually come over here, and I'm going to open a folder. You can see my 3 items within that, and I'm just going to click on this one, and it says, tell me a joke, and it says, why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. All right, so good job. Okay, so that's kind of that's the base level, so it auto executes. And for the next one, this is where I can actually add variables in. And so I basically have the same thing, but I'm asking it, I want a subject of my joke. And so now I'm going to tell it to make me a joke about cats. So it tell me a joke about cats. And it says, why did the cat sit on the computer? Because it wanted to keep an eye on the mouse. Okay, cool. Now the last one is, now I've got a longer prompt, and this is where crafting content comes in, that I'm going to take that and I want to turn it into an image. Okay, so I've got to create a three-panel comic, and now I'm going to add a detail down here that I want it to be, make it Thanksgiving themed. Whoops. Thank you. Okay, cool. So I can either auto-execute these things, or I can kind of have a pause break where I can edit things, and now it'll go out. Usually Gemini is pretty quick, that's why I go with Gemini versus ChatGPT. And again, it's just going to run, and it's going to create my comic, and there we go. Okay, so again, it's a very, very simple tool. That's basically all it does. I create my prompt, and then I've got a simple UI interface for launching my prompts. That's it. That's what I got. So as far as, I'm looking for beta feedback, so if you want to go to sidepc.app, if you use Chrome, use it, give me feedback. I'd love to get your feedback. As far as other things that you can help me with, new uses or added services. So right now I've kind of got the major AI services that it works with, but I know there's lots of things that people use that I haven't activated this thing on. So that would be great. And the last thing, I'm looking to actually add some cloud features to this. That's actually where I think the monetization of this type of product is. So I'm looking for a developer that can work with cloud features. That's what I'm kind of looking for. I'm happy to answer kind of anything that you guys might have on this. Yeah, Serge.
It's not a question, but a comment. So first, looks like a cool idea. I think about having it as a extension for Chrome. So the problem is always marketing. How do you sell it?
Sure.
For now, it looks like solution looking for traffic. So check traffic on extension stores. Are people searching for such things? Because as a big solution to a big problem, definitely no, because use Cursor, use any IDE, and it can do exactly the same, even better. You keep your files as MD files, and you ask Cursor to do what you want to do.
Use Cursor?
Cursor IDE, yeah. I can show you later.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm aware.
Solving this, it's already solved on the bigger thing. But what I'm thinking it could be cool is one-click solution as an extension. Like, because big solutions exist doesn't mean that people don't want simple things.
Yes.
And this looks like a simple thing for the browser.
Yes.
So explore this. Like, check how much traffic. Like, is there existent traffic already in stores? Like. I can show you later what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know how to find
so you need traffic.
extension
free
traffic.
And there is a store inside Chrome, right?
Yeah, so it's on the Chrome store currently.
Okay.
So this will give you a link to the
a few ideas on the marketing site, so I can share with
awesome.
you.
That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah.
Are there any plans to have it be able to interface with desktop apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Adobe products using more AI integrated into their software?
Are there any plans? I think, right now, like I said, this thing's like an idea. So I think but I also, I'm trying to see if this solves a problem and see if it's if it solves a problem but it's not worth the effort. In some respect, it's not worth it. So maybe before getting excited, I'm trying to.
Totally.
So one of the most useful things, like in ChatGPT, has been agents and projects, where you can actually load your files, get all your prompts in one place, and it talks to them all and it remembers them all. So like if you're doing the same, like my dissertation, I can load my documents in there. I can have the different chats in there, and so they all work together. The other thing is now you can define agents. do you see an integration with that same idea? Because you got these great
Yeah.
folders.
Like I think the thing that I'm solving here is actually a graphical user interface. I like my impression of actually. This is a bombastic statement. I think OpenAI is a terrible UI company. Like that doesn't mean that they haven't solved UI problems. I don't mean that. And I use the heck out of the service. I love the service.
Well, that's what I'm saying is.
So
the next extension of that is that's just the prompt.
Right.
Well, now that user interface, because like people don't understand projects, you don't see them. It's just
right.
like you do it, but the projects and the agents would be cool.
Yeah, I think for me, like what sort of solved here is like how to think about workflow, and it's like I know what red question mark on yellow background means. I've created my own. You don't know what it means, but I know what it means. And to be honest, this is my thing. So it only matters if I know what it means. And so it's almost like I've kind of fallen into like you're almost like creating custom apps like very, very simply. So yeah, I think you definitely.
Yeah, I'm just saying the next level up is what about a project?
Totally.
Like you said, you talked about a coding problem. Well, that's not one problem.
There's multiple.
Program
Yeah,
management
100%.
of that. There's a create the images for that,
Yep.
and that under your folders might be a cool thing to think about.
Yeah, totally. In fact, this one, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is kind of a succession series of prompts, and that's kind of how I've solved it in the simple interface. But for sure, there's no reason you couldn't kind of automate some of those things. For a while, I know you've been up for a while.
So have you played around with any of the new agent browsers, like the ChatGPT browser or the Complexity browser?
I haven't. I haven't mainly. I haven't. There's not necessarily a good reason for that. I think the interesting thing about this product for me is I think getting people to switch browsers is going to be really difficult. But no, I haven't.
But if you could replicate some of the things that they're doing in those browsers,
In just an extension, sure.
That's exactly going to be the problem. Is they're getting people to move up. There's been so many browsers over the last 20 years that have tried to get people to move off Chrome for various reasons, and they haven't succeeded. So I don't see why it's going to be any different with this. So if you can integrate some of the basic functionality that they're offering through those browsers, I know you can like order stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
Get it to do stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, I thought about almost having like a backlog of like solved prompts that you could just like add.
But the complexity obviously gets bigger then when you start to interact with those sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. This is cool. Good. So 2026, you know, we talked about that being the year of context and memory. And
Who's talking about that?
the universe, the AI sphere, the AI blogosphere or podcast spheres. So basically, yeah, memory is like one of the things that hasn't like fully been solved yet, but also being able to take memory from one application, like, you know, between
make it portable.
services, make it
Sure.
portable, right? And so something like this, you know, talking about a kind of new use out of service, you know, you're providing context in a stored format that's cross-platform, but to be able to sort of take that to another level and make it a stored memory application, and then that's really like, to me, that's a huge hook.
Yeah.
On the memory piece.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't thought like save to or something like that. Yeah, I mean
somehow, like, I don't know how you would go about doing it, but it's just to me it's a marketing angle.
Yeah.
And,
you know, one of the reasons it started here and trying to get traction here is like it's more of like, hey, if this idea is something, there's a lot of growth area because it's. I don't think OpenAI is going to launch a competitive product because what this actually breaks. It breaks out of. They're going to want you to stay in their thing. They're not going to want to port your stuff over to Gemini very easily. This is. It's very. it doesn't compete directly with those services. It utilizes those services.
Right. And it's like I have my GPT, my custom GPTs, and you know.
You use custom GPTs?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't. That's cool.
I mean, if they're used, they're great.
Yeah.
And then I'll use Claude for some of its little quick application tools. And so, you know, they each kind of have their own little micro tool type service.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, kind of making a mini agent or a fake agent.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing is cross-platform now. Anyway.
I think that kind of goes with like Kyle's point. Okay, maybe I'm just crazy thinking this, but because I don't use too much, like the AIs that you saw, the feedback from like my developer. Could this be used in a way? Let's say like, okay, I use Gemini and the prompts for the image generation, like you did, but afterwards I want it to use Claude for this coding. Like, could you make it to where one
I haven't. I mean, I've got a couple of like roadmap ideas of being able to like attach a service to the prompt and like kind of relaunch a
go from
tab.
Gemini to
I think
Claude and then from Claude.
I mean, like technically you can. I'm sort of getting out of I'm getting out of the wheelhouse of what I can do, you know. But I like technically you
No,
can.
I'm just thinking like idea, like if that's even a good idea. Like if
I don't know.
you know, you prompt it,
Yeah.
it's like create a website and then make it an app, and then I want these photos with this verbiage, and it's like almost like an agent, I guess,
Yeah.
that does it all. But maybe I'm just like ADD.
I'll go with David and then I'll grab you and then probably done here.
I'm wondering if we had videos, wikis, and a response for like your beta or your new uses so that people can get back to you.
No, I have no way of capturing feedback right now. I should. Yeah, it's a good. I don't have that.
Suggestions and feedback. Yeah, that'd be
It's a good idea. Brad?
I am old generation,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking the business way. I believe your idea is more practical to contact JBT, AI companies to make a tool aside the tools, which is help a lot. I think this is the best way to do as a business. I don't know what you think.
Like an
Understand me?
internal repository of prompts that work for the business?
Yeah, make a site and
Yeah.
tools.
I was actually talking to Aaron about a little bit of this, and this is kind of the cloud features. So my thought on the cloud features is what I actually want. What I'm thinking is essentially creating like a community library where like you can basically store quote unquote the best prompts, and then you can just bring them in to to your instance. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on how to.
I agree with that.
Utilize the community to help, improve
Yeah, I
things.
agree with that. I think that's the next step.
That'd be great for a larger company too if they want to keep branding on point. If you have a larger company and you want to keep branding message
Right.
on certain protocols in place.
Yeah.
prompts for the employees to
Yeah.
use.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah.
there's a repository.
Like, hey,
that
this
the
is what
employees-
this is our standard. This is almost like this is our SOP of how we write content. User.
correct.
And some of that can be like very complicated to spell out, but if you're like, well, we have a coding product, but we use this language, we use this platform, we use this protocol, and just drag
Yeah.
and drop it would keep things really consistent for a larger organization.
Yeah, that's smart.
I think you need star ratings on prompts.
Yeah.
5-star prompts, 2-star prompts. That's what you need for specific tasks.
Yeah.
So if I need to do taxes and I'm a homeowner and I have these kind of problems, who has the prompt that solves my problem?
Oh, that's almost a marketplace idea.
Yeah, it's more.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prompt marketplace.
It's a good idea.
Interesting.
Prompt.
Yeah.
Anything
All
else?
of us have 1,000 ideas to throw at you.
What do you
Claude saves first of all, so you can like load your prompts into multiple computers. That's one, and then kind of the community aspect that we were just kind of iterating on. I don't have these aren't super defined, but those are kind of the two cloud-based ideas that I've
sort of
got.
back end all
Yeah,
system?
yeah. It's not super complex. I just I will build it in a very hacky way.
Yeah.
And I know that's not the right way to build that stuff.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you have a question?
I was just gonna say, I do really like the idea of keeping it, like from a B2B play, people just staying consistent, because everyone right now, this is a huge problem, is on their own algorithm,
Yeah.
and there's zero like cohesiveness.
Yeah.
And you kind of are starting to see gaps. I
Yeah.
see this across.
I hadn't thought about this as a B2B tool at all. Like that is a brand new idea that entered my head from this. So
But just keeping
I
it really
appreciate that.
simple, just the more complex it is,
yeah.
the less user friendly it
Yeah.
ends up being. So just really focus on keeping it really, really simple.
Cool. Last one.
I'd
So
say
then
it's
we gotta flip up.
kind of feels like a super light agent, right?
Yes.
And so it's like there's tons of.
It's a super light agent where a human is still involved. It's like recognizing that like fine, agents are a thing, but you need a human still kind of like a human still needs to direct.
And small businesses who don't have the capacity to figure out AI stuff, like this is a good entry point to just be like, here's our 5 tools. You punch in the code, whatever, and the
Very
variables. But,
Cool.
Entry level friendly.
Yeah.
Good job.
Awesome. Thank you all. That was great. Mike, I've got you queued up here.